It's a scientific fact that the hormones of stress downregulate genes and create disease, long-term effects. Human beings, because of the size of the neocortex, we can turn on the stress response just by thought alone. We can think about our problems and turn on those chemicals. That means then our thoughts could make us sick. So if it's possible that our thoughts could make us sick, is it possible then our thoughts could make us well? And the answer is absolutely yes.
In this world, it is true that people want immediate action. That's the world we live in, immediate gratification. So if I'm sick, I want something immediately to handle the issue. And of course, we look to the world of drugs for this understanding. But the problem with this is that there are more effective ways of healing. Now, the problem with the energy healing is that it really involves consciousness, mind, and our ability to change our belief systems. Well, this takes a little bit more work than popping a pill.
You know, people are busy getting all these diseases and all these sicknesses these days, and I say largely we're so out of whack, out of resonant vibration, out of harmony with nature, that we're living an artificial life in a natural environment. And to the extent that we can come back into harmony with the natural environment, our bodies will come back into harmony with health.
So then, what are the emotions that are connected to survival? Let's name them. Anger, aggression, hostility, hatred, competition, fear, anxiety, worry, pain, suffering, guilt, shame, unworthiness, envy, jealousy. Those are all created by the hormones of stress. And psychology calls them normal human states of consciousness. I call those altered states of consciousness. So then, we tend to remember those traumatic events more because in survival, you better be ready if it happens again. And when the survival gene is switched on, you could have 10 really great things that happen to you in your day. And you just have one bad thing that happens, and you cannot take your attention off that unhappy thing because the survival gene is switched on.
I was teaching in a medical school, and I was teaching the concept about genes, and everyone, of course, has heard about genes, and they believe that genes control their lives, you know, so running in my family is diabetes, Alzheimer's, cancer, whatever it is, and they say, oh my goodness, I'm a recipient of such genes, and this is going to be my life, and this is a belief of victimization of heredity. It's running in my heredity, and I'm going to get these genes, and I can't control it. There's a new biology that switches this whole thing around because it reveals that genes don't control our lives. It's our perceptions and our response to the environment. It's the environment that influences the genes. Well, the relevance about that is since we can change our perceptions and we can change our environment, then we're not victims, we're actually masters. But we have to know that. We have to really come from an understanding that we are creating our lives, because if your belief is you're a victim, its belief is translated into biology. You become a victim if that's what you believe.
So, your good intentions are not going to save the world. How you are, and how you are will change only if you can breathe, walk, lie down, sit down joyfully. If you cannot do this one thing, everything else will be just poison, whatever you do. Only when you're pleasant within yourself, you feel pleasant about everything around you. Only when you feel pleasant about everything around you, you move around with a certain sense and value to life around you. Otherwise, it doesn't matter how much morality you carry in you, how many scriptures you remember, you will find ways to do the cruelest possible things. So the first and foremost business, the first and basic responsibility for a human being is how he sits here. Are you sitting here joyfully? Are you sitting here with some misery being manufactured in your head? This is the foremost thing that you have to attend to. Only after that, everything else.
I like to define life, a balanced life, as consciously, proportionately directing energy to the things and people that truly matter in your life. Balance, I don't look at balance as being 50-50, like a scale being balanced. It's not how I view balance. Balance is proportionately directing my energy to the things and people that truly matter in my life. And when I'm able to proportionally direct my energy, I know my life is in balance. But if my energy is not proportionally directed to the things and people that matter in my life, then my life is out of balance.
How many of you have something in your life, some unfinished business that's stressful, and so you put it off and don't even try to think about it? It could be in your business, could be in your personal life, could be a relationship. How many got something at home or at work that needs to be handled and you put it off because you're so stressed, you got so much going on? Who's got something like this? Can you think of one specifically? Awesome. So here's what I want you to do. On a 0 to 10, if you were to try to deal with that right now, honestly, 10 is totally stressful, 0 is not at all. Where is it? Tell me the number. Say it out loud. How many got one 7 or above of stress if you focused on it? Perfect, because that'll help you change. Now, I'm gonna give you a quick technique for 2 minutes. I got dozens and dozens of these, but it'll work for most of you, you'll see. So here's what we found. Research has been done on how we get stressed, and there's something interesting they discovered. When you're born, your heart starts to beat. That's birth. That's when you're alive. I don't mean born outside, I mean inside the womb. There's no brain when your heart starts to beat. What makes your heart beat? It has its own intelligence, and it affects your brain, it affects your life, it affects everything. When we get in our head, we're dead. We overanalyze, we look at things, we get stressed out, but in our heart, we know the answer. So these researchers they were nominated for a Nobel Prize because they found that if you focus on your heart, you put your hands on your heart, let's go ahead and do it. Put your hands on your heart. In fact, if you would you stand up? I think it'll get more of your body engaged. You've been sitting so long. Shake your body out just for a second here, just for a second. If you're at home, do the same, right? All right, now, put both your hands on your heart, breathe deep inside your heart, meaning close your eyes if you would, and feel your hands touching your heart. Feel the power of your heart. And what we're gonna do is for 2 minutes, we're just gonna get grateful. Remember earlier I said, the two emotions that mess us up are anger and fear. They mess up your relationships, they mess up your financial decisions, they mess up career stuff, they mess up things with our kids. But when you're grateful, you can't be angry. When you're grateful, you can't be fearful. So we're gonna spend 2 minutes of gratitude, but we're gonna focus on our heart because research shows wherever focus goes, energy flows. And when you focus on the heart, it changes literally how your brain functions. I could show you an image of when you're frustrated and you'll see EEGs, EKGs. That's the electrical power in your brain and your heart, and they're jagged and they're all over. We'll probably put it on the screen when they cut this. But if you breathe in your heart for 2 minutes, focusing on 3 things you're grateful for, they literally become in sync. They round and they're one. And when they're one, your heart has the answer. So breathe deep in your heart and let's begin. As you breathe deep in your heart, feel the power of your heart. Feel the strength of your heart. Feel the beauty of your heart. What are you proud your heart has guided you to do in this life? Or to give, or to enjoy, or to love. Feel the power of your heart. It beats 100,000 times a day, and you don't have to do it. You don't have to do anything. In fact, something loved you enough to give you this heart at the very beginning. You didn't have to earn it, did you? You didn't have to prove yourself. You didn't have to prove your worth. Something knows your worth and gave you this gift. You can call it God, the universe, whatever you call it, but feel that powerful heart that beats and is always there for you and has been for decades, and give thanks for it.